Heard arguments in a lawsuit that seeks to overturn the state's 12-week abortion ban, and that law also has restrictions on gender-affirming care for transgender youth.
The plaintiffs and the state presented their cases to the justices. Our Dave Zavolinsky is at the 6 on Your Side alert desk with the arguments this afternoon. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Jacqueline and John. Planned Parenthood of the Heartland contends that LB 574, which became law last year, violates the state's constitution. They argue that lawmakers violated the state's single subject bill requirement by adding a 12-week abortion ban to the bill restricting health care for transgender youth. However, the state says the issues don't violate that requirement because both of them are indeed health related. Last August, a Lancaster County court judge ruled in favor of the state. Today, an attorney for Planned Parenthood made their case.
The legislature itself treated these subjects as separate when it set up LB 574 and LB 626, and it pushed them together only when it was constrained to do so.
So you're back to it really matters how the legislature did it.
It's not just the how, Your Honor, it is also the actual scope.
The state spent most of their statements on technical details of the law and lawmaking. A decision from the court could come at any time in the next few months. Reporting from the 6 on Your Side alert desk this afternoon, I'm Dave Zavolinsky.